Hello crafters and welcome to a fun card here at justonemоrecard.com that I've created for the Alleyway stamps. I'm using a brand new stamp set called Paws, and there are many super cute penguins in that set. I'm going to color up a few penguins that I want to use for my shaker card, and I'm going to keep it simple. As you can see, I'm only using neutral grays here. You can use warm grays or toner grays, whatever colors you like. Make them pink, make them blue, whatever makes you happy. Like I said, I decided on these grays, and I just do some very light shading here to give them more more 3D-ness, to make them more lifelike. And you can see you can always go over previous areas again with your Copics to color them in. For the body of the penguins, I'm using some very soft colors, and you can see that blending from the blue-greens to the yellows gives you a nice greenish hue in the middle, which makes it easy to blend from these colors, which you would usually not use to blend. And in the end, I'm going to come in with my colorless blender to lighten the Y11 a bit, so I'll have a soft gradient. And then I'm going to fuzzy cut them out. Sorry that this is a little choppy here, or well, at least not sharp. Maybe it's just my eyes, but I think it really is not in focus. It's because of my camera. But anyhow, you can see how quick and easy you can cut these little critters out. It's really not difficult. Now I've die cut these windows here with a die by Pretty Pink Posh, and all the supplies are listed in the video description below or on my blog. And I want to create multiple separate shaker windows with this die. So I have put it here on the background so you can see what I'm doing, because otherwise you won't be seeing anything, because it's white on white. And this is one-sided adhesive foil. I hope that makes sense. In Germany, at least during my time, when you got your books from school, you were usually expected to wrap them in this foil that was adhesive on one side to protect the books, so they would not scuff. So this is just regular foil, clear foil, and it's adhesive on one side. And I'm adhering it all around the these little windows. And the reason for that is that I want to adhere some regular foil that's non-adhesive to the card base. You could glue it on. You could totally use your glue, Glossy Accents, multi-medium, and glue this down. But I wanted to use my fuse tool to adhere my first layer of foil onto this adhesive-backed foil. I hope that makes sense. It sticks to it. It's like you would use two regular pieces of foil and put them together with the fuse tool. And that was just because I was worried that maybe the glue wouldn't really hold the shaker in place, and this way I would know this would hold it in place. If you use this method, you want to be careful though. You need heavy cardstock, because otherwise you will see the marks of the fuse tool on the other side. Now before I proceed, I am gluing down my penguins here directly on top of this first layer of foil, and I'm also sticking them a little bit inside of these windows so it looks like they have more dimension. And since nobody will ever see the back side of this, it doesn't matter if I glue it directly onto the foil. Now I flip this thing over again, and I want to create little shaker windows where the penguins are not. So I'm just layering foil on top of these empty windows, like a second layer of foil, and you can see I'm using my fuse here on three sides first to create a little pouch. And now I'm putting my sequins in there. Of course, you have to try to not drop them anywhere. And I'm just mixing in some sequins with some seed beads by Pretty Pink Posh. And that's why you have to leave one of the flaps open. And then you close it up with the fuse tool, just as you used it on the other sides. Now for my actual card, I die cut this piece of colored paper. It doesn't need to be cardstock because there's already so much paper on the front of the card, and I had this colored paper lying around, and I'm using my ATG to put some adhesive on it, and I really love my ATG for this. It's so easy to put a lot of glue precisely where I need it to go. And then when you adhere it to your card base, you want to be careful, because one will see it if it's not even. So that's why I actually pulled it up again here, because I realized my white border around it was not even. If I would be smart, I would be doing this on my craft mat that has the lines on it. Didn't think of that, so I'm just winging it here and hoping that it will be somewhat even, and I was lucky. More lucky than smart. Before I'm tearing the front panel down, I grabbed some twine, some very thin twine, because I felt that the front panel was a little bit empty with the sentiment there, and I'm wrapping it around this panel like quite often actually. And then I'm using a generous amount of foam tape. I could have used some behind the penguins as well. I simply didn't think of it. Only thought of it when I saw the video. You can see I'm using foam tape along the edges here, so the card will have some stability to it. And I love this foam tape. You can just pull it off quite easily. And then again, there's the challenge of getting it adhered somewhat in the center. And here's my trick how I do the bow. I'm not adhering the bow, I'm not making the bow with the twine that I've wrapped around the card. I made the bow separately, and then I'm just putting this on, because otherwise, it looks great, but I could not do this in one piece. So that's how I'm doing my bows. I'm cheating, I know. And here's a close-up of the shaker element. You can see each little window here has some shaker elements or a penguin inside of it. And these little guys are so adorable, and they're perfectly sized. And here's my little fake bow that I did, and I even adhered a gold sequin in the center, so you wouldn't see that I faked it all the way. And then last but not least, here's the entire card in its glory. And you can see I even added some white dots to the penguins there. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed the card and the project, and see you again soon. Bye!